Oh, there we go. And I will put you on mute as well. For now. Okay, perfect. Can you still hear me? Yeah, good. Okay, let's start in a seated position. So come down to a crossed leg if that's comfortable. Or you can come to a kneeling position. You can sit on a cushion or a block, or you can lie down as well if you feel like you need a rest. And I'm really sorry if the cat switches the camera off in the middle of the class. I will come back. He's hanging around. Come here. Come on. Okay. So find your starting position. Bring one hand, your left hand, onto the center of your chest, and your right hand right onto the lower belly. And the same if you're lying down. Close your eyes and start to take some deep breaths in and out. Start to let your body settle into the practice. And with your eyes closed, notice how the sounds around you start to become amplified. And maybe you can use your ears like a radar. Try to tune into the furthest sound that you can hear, scanning around you. So maybe that's something outside or something in the room around you. Moving your awareness onto another sound. And another one. And then starting to notice some sounds closer to you. Keep scanning your awareness, moving through the different sounds that you can hear. And then finally bring your awareness onto the sound of your own breath. So listen to the sound of the air moving in and out. Maybe imagining the breath like a wave, like ocean waves coming in and out. And starting to become aware of the sensations within your body now. So maybe that's the sensation of the air moving in and out of the nostrils. The rise and fall of the chest and the belly as you breathe. And any other subtle sensations that you feel within your physical body. You're observing everything that comes up without judgment. Just allowing the feelings to come into your awareness. Resting with the sound of your breath. And notice if there's any changes to your breath now that we're sat here quietly. Maybe the breath has slowed down or become deeper. Or maybe you feel like your breath is still fast or high up in the chest. Just observe whatever is present, continuing to breathe, allowing your body to slowly relax. And now bring both hands onto your chest, right in the heart space. Continue to breathe here. In today's practice, we're practicing for the full moon. So if you like, you can imagine that bright light energy of the full moon, bringing energy into your heart space, into the area of your chest as you breathe. Allowing this idea of expansion, of energy, of vitality to come into your being. And now bringing both hands now down onto the lower belly. Imagining you're bringing that energy down from the heart space down into the pelvic bowl, into the seat of our feminine energy. Imagining that light continuing to expand and get brighter. Clearing away any dense and heavy energy that's present. And if you feel any heaviness, any tightness or tension, don't worry. Just let it be for now. And we'll start to move through our physical asana practice, the postures. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, slowly start to allow light back into the eyes. And we'll start with some spinal mobilization. So bring both hands onto your knees. You can change the cross of your legs if the legs are crossed. Just helps to bring a little bit of balance into the legs. And we're going to do the same cat-cow spinal waves that we normally do on all fours, but we'll do it sitting down. So with the hands on the knees, we'll inhale, lean forward, lift the chest, lift the chin, pull the heart forward, open up the front body. And exhale, round through the spine, drop your chin to your chest. Stretch the back. Inhale, lift the chest, pull the heart forward gently, opening the front body. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Now repeat a few more times like that with your own breath. Making the movement last the full inhale and exhale. Really feeling into the sensations, the opening, the stretching of the spine, the lengthening, and creating space. Now the last few, maybe going a little bit deeper, so making this pose a little bit more intense and starting to rock forward and backwards on the pelvis as you do. So as you come forward, you're leaning forward, rocking forward, and then as you come back, you're leaning all the way back. 2 more times. You might start to feel some stretches around the hip area, the outer hips as well. And this is the last one. And then find your way back to neutral spine. Bring your right hand down to the mat at your side. Left arm comes up and over into a side bend, reaching the left fingertips away. Let the left leg be heavy, so it's like an anchor weighing down this leg and hip. From that anchor point, stretching and reaching, feeling the whole side of the left body opening and expanding, breathing in deeply into the left side body, noticing how that feels. And then flowing over to the right side. So left hand comes down, right arm comes up and over into your side bend. Breathing here, really enjoying this opening sensation in the body. Letting your yoga practice be a chance to connect with the body. Feeling into all those tight spots that we've been ignoring and creating some lightness. We'll repeat that on both sides, over to the left. And stretching the right side one last time. And coming back to center, neutral spine. And you can change the legs again if you like. While we take some big circles with the chest and the hips. So the legs will stay where they are. We'll start to draw some circles. You can go either direction, leading with the chest. Making the circles as big as feels comfortable for you. So here we're opening up the ribs, the chest, also the hips and the pelvis. Keeping this feminine movement, the spirals and circles. Really try to, with this women's yoga class, bring a little bit more flow, a little bit more freedom of movement into the postures rather than always being stuck to the linear forward and backward movement. Change the direction. Continuing to breathe deeply. And coming back to center. Last seated stretch, we'll do a forward fold. So walk your hands forward, reach the fingertips away as far as you can. Let the thighs be heavy, and then once you reach your edge, drop your chin down, relax the upper body. Your gaze is down towards the floor. Feel the spine extend and lengthen. And then walk your hands back in. Come over onto all fours. Hands and knees, tabletop position. And from here, we'll transition into downward facing dog. So maybe walk the hands a little bit further forward. Spread your fingers wide. Point your middle finger slightly out, so to the front corners of the mat. So you've got this external rotation in the arms. From there, tuck your toes under, lift your knees. Hips will go up towards the sky. So lift the hips nice and high. Allow your head to relax, keeping the knees bent to start with. So your belly is going towards the thighs. And then from here, you've got the option to press one heel and then the other down to the ground. You want to keep this nice forward tilting action in the hips, creating a long low back. So if you feel like your back is rounding as you do this, just keep the knees bent as much as you need to. Keep pressing the feet down one at a time, or find stillness if that works better for you, if you want to stretch out the back of the legs. Sarah, see if you can bend your knees and press your chest a little bit closer towards the knees. So imagine your nose is going towards the knees, push through your arms, that's it. That's it, perfect. And then we'll start to walk the feet in towards the hands, so take baby steps. Coming into a forward fold with the feet hip distance apart, bend your knees, relax your upper body. You can place your fingertips on the floor, or you can hold opposite elbows. So really let go here, bend your knees as much as you need to. And let gravity take hold of your spine, of your upper body. Imagine that your spine is growing longer as you breathe and relax. Really try to let go into this pose, surrender to the forward fold. Imagine that any stresses, any worries are just rolling off your back, down into the earth beneath you. And then release the hands and start to unroll, coming up into a standing position, keeping your head tucked in until the end, so you don't get dizzy. And once you're at the top, you can lift your chin. And then we'll come, I'll turn to face you, so you can see what I'm doing. You want, ideally, if you've got a mat, to be facing the long edge of the mat and be standing kind of in the middle, so you've got space either side. We're going to move through a moon salutation. So normally we do the sun salutation. This one is a little bit of a different flow, which goes side to side rather than front and back. We kind of create this nice arc shape, like the movement of the moon. So we'll start with our feet hip distance apart, hands by your sides with the palms facing forward. So we're rolling those arms outwards again. Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale out, ground through the feet. And inhale, arms come out to the sides, reach them up, drawing a big circle. Palms come to touch above the head. And then exhale, we'll side bend to the left. So hips go to the right, arms go to the left. Feel that nice stretch. We'll move through it slowly this first time. We're going to move through the flow a few times after that. So we'll go a little bit faster in the next rounds. Come back to center, inhale, lengthen your spine, exhale, side bend over to the right. Weight in both feet. Keeping the belly pulled in gently. And then coming back to center using your core muscles. Inhale again, reach the fingers up, and exhale, we're going to step out with the left foot into a wide stance. Point your toes slightly out. And then we'll come down into a goddess pose. So this is like a squat with the knees wide. You want your knees to press out as much as you can. So use these muscles on the outside of your legs. And you want to still be able to see your toes. You can't see mine because of the camera, but you should be able to see them when you look down in front of your knees. You can bring your hands together into a mudra like this with the first finger and the thumb touching, and bring the hands to rest on the thighs. Take an inhale. Exhale, ground down, deepen into the squat. Again, inhale. Exhale, deepen. And then inhale, arms come out and up, legs straighten, palms touch at the top of the head. And exhale, Open the arms out to shoulder height. Turn your right foot, this one, towards the short edge of the mat, so this direction, and turn your left toes slightly in. From here, we're going to move into triangle pose. So reach the fingers in opposite directions. From here, keep the legs where they are in the pelvis still. Start to reach forward with that right hand, so you're kind of leaning with the body. And this movement is like a sliding action of the upper body with the rib cage coming towards the right. From here, we'll start to tilt the body, so the right hand is coming down, 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 and we'll rest on the shin of that right leg. And the left arm will come up. So the left hand is in line with the right hand and reaching up towards the sky. So you might feel a stretch on the inner thigh here, on this front leg, on the side body on the left. Breathe here. Maybe turning the gaze to look towards the left hand if that feels comfortable. And then we'll bend through the right knee. Might need to widen the stance a little bit, but as we do this a few times, it'll become more natural. And bring the right elbow to rest on the thigh. And this left arm will come up by your ear. We're in extended side angle pose. You've got the option to stay with the elbow on the knee, or if you like, you can reach this right hand down either to the inside or the outside of that right foot. You'll need to bend your knees deeper to get into this version. Take another 2 breaths here. And then allow the left hand to come down. So both fingers are framing that front foot. Turn the back toes to face the same direction as the front. So you're now in a lunge with the back knee lifted. Let the back knee drop down to the ground. And on an inhale, both arms will come up into your crescent lunge. So from here, you can have your back toes tucked under, or you can have the top of the foot pressing down into the ground, whatever feels comfortable. Just to check in with the alignment on this first one, maybe come out of the pose a little bit. Put your hands on your hips. Feel where the bones of the pelvis are. And notice if your bum is kind of sticking out and creating this arch in your back. What you want to do is press so if you've got your hands on your hips with the thumbs at the top, you want to rotate the hands so that the thumbs are moving down the back, so you're pressing the hips forward and feeling a deeper stretch on the front of the pelvis there on that back leg, the left leg. And once you're there, you can deepen back into the lunge, and it might feel a little bit more difficult. You can bring your arms back up into your crescent lunge. Option to bring the palms together and gaze up towards the fingers. Feeling the front body open, and again, you can imagine that light of the full moon shining down onto your chest, soaking in the energy. And then bringing both hands down to the ground. Lift your back knee. And crawl your hands around and make your way into a wide-legged forward fold. So for this one, you can have your toes pointing slightly in towards each other. Your palms can be down on the ground, or you can take hold of opposite elbows again if you like that. And just rest here for a moment, allow the backs of the legs to stretch. Allow that upper body to be heavy. Releasing the hands. Continue the journey around. So you'll walk the fingers now in the same direction. You'll come all the way into the lunge on the other leg. So the back leg, the right leg is lifted, and then you can drop the knee down, untuck the toes, and bring the hands back up by the ears into crescent lunge. So we're going to repeat those poses, but in the opposite direction now. Completing the circle. So again, check in with the alignment of the hips here if you need to. Feel that front leg engage. Notice any small movements in the foot as your body works to keep the balance here. And then from here, we're going to move into the extended side angle. So bring the left elbow to rest on the front thigh and the left thigh. The right hand can come down to the ground, fingertips for support. Tuck your back toes under, rotate the foot. So you're turning on that foot to bring the legs into your wide-legged stance for extended side angle. And then the right arm comes up by the ear, creating a diagonal line from the back foot to the fingertips. Yeah, that's it. So you've got a deep bend in the left knee. The right leg is straight with the sole of the foot pressing down strongly into the ground. And again, you've got the option of releasing the left hand down to the mat if you've got space there in the hips. Wherever you are, take up as much space as you can so you're reaching the fingertips and the little toe side edge of the right foot away from each other. This long line of energy in the body. One more breath. And then from here, we'll make our way up into our triangle. Might be a little bit of a difficult transition from here. You want to press down into the left leg. Use your hands any way you need to. And the left hand will eventually rest on the shin on that left foot with the right arm reaching up and away. Find that length, that forward reaching action with the upper body. And this nice stretch on the side bend, on the side of the right body. Turning your gaze to look towards the right hand, if that's comfortable for your neck. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Taking one more breath here. And then slowly making your way back, upright, turning your heels in and making your way down into your goddess squat with the fingertips touching and the backs of the hands resting on the knees. Take one breath in. Exhale to ground down. Let the energy move down into the lower body. Again, inhale. Exhale, grounding down. Inhale, now straighten through the legs, palms come to touch above the head. And then a big step with the left foot in towards the right. Shuffle the feet to the back together, and we'll take our side bend first to the left. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side bend. Inhale and exhale, palms come together at your chest. So Anjali Mudra is the prayer position with the palms of your hands touching. Or you can take a lotus mudra as well if you like that. So this is kind of a symbol of receiving and abundance, which is appropriate for this kind of full moon practice. And for that, you bring just your little fingers and the thumbs together and you spread the other fingers apart. So you're creating kind of like a cup shape with your hands. And then you bring that into your heart space. with the thumbs resting on the breastbone. And take a few breaths here. Noticing any changes in your body after that first round. We're going to practice one more, maybe 2 more rounds of that now. Hopefully it will feel a little bit easier. And now release the mudra, bring the hands down, palms facing forward. To begin, if you need to come back to the center of your mat, you can do so. We're going to move to the right this time. So we inhale, arms out, draw that big circle, gathering up the energy, palms touch above the head, and on an exhale, side bend towards the right. Inhale, center, lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, center. Exhale, goddess, squat. Step out with the right foot, bend the knees, heels pointing towards each other. Backs of hands rest on the inside of the knees. Take a breath in and out. Now inhale, rise the arms, straighten the legs, palms kiss at the top. And exhale, we'll move to the triangle pose. So with the feet, you want the right foot pointing forward, the left foot will rotate. So you've got an outward rotation of the hip, and the leg will follow, and the toes will come to point towards the left side of the mat. From here, arms out at shoulder height, reach forward, find length in the upper body, and then allow that left shoulder to drop. Left hand comes to left shin, right arm reaches up and away. Yeah, very nice. Feel that side body stretch on the right. Just be here for 1 breath this time. And then we'll bend through the left knee. Elbow rests on the thigh, and the right arm comes to reach up by the ear, extended side angle. Yeah, widen your stance if it feels more comfortable. And then continue to rotate towards the left. Both hands come down to frame the left foot. Back heel lifts, and we'll come to our low lunge. Inhale, upper body rises, arms lift by the ears, crescent lunge. Release the front body. And then fingertips come back down to the mat. Tuck the back toes. Make your way into your wide-legged forward fold. So crawl the fingertips around, relaxing in the middle in this forward bend. Continuing the circle, crawling the hands around to the right into your low lunge, dropping the back knee. And on an inhale, finding crescent moon, crescent lunge. Pressing that left hip forward, releasing tension from the pelvis and the hips. And then right elbow to right thigh, left fingertips to the ground. Lift that back knee, rotate the foot and move into your extended side angle. Left arm sweeps up and over by the ear. You all right, Sarah? It's all right. That's it. So bend your right knee. That's it. That's it. So you've got a nice lunge with the legs. Right elbow come to rest on the thigh. That's it. Now the left arm comes up and over by your ear. So reach it all the way. That's it. Yep. So you want If you can get a straight line from your left foot to your left fingertips, that's perfect. But that's already good where you are now. You want a stretch on the left side body. Give me a thumbs up if you can feel it. Good. Okay. So from here, now using the strength of this front leg, straighten the leg coming into triangle. So just the hands, bring the right hand onto the shin and the left arm is up towards the sky. And just taking a moment here. And then using the core, bringing yourself up, right, and then turning the feet, coming into goddess. Bending the knees, backs of the hands to the inner thighs. Yeah, really nice. Taking one breath in and out, dropping the hips. And then inhale, drawing a big circle with the hands, straightening the legs. Palms come to touch. And then the right foot steps in to meet the left. And we finish with our side bend. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to lengthen. And then find either your prayer position, Anjali Mudra, or take the lotus. And close your eyes for a few breaths. Okay, you can open your eyes now. You've got a choice. We can do one more round of that. Let's see. Now let's move it, just checking the time. Now let's move into some different postures actually. So we'll come down, we'll come down onto the ground. So come all the way down into a seated position. I don't want to miss out on any chance for hip stretches, so I don't want to run out of time. Bring the soles of your feet together for our butterfly legs. So soles of the feet together, knees are nice and wide. Bring your hands behind you, lift your hips up and just shift them back slightly. And you want to feel like you're sat right on the sit bone. So if you need to use your hands to kind of move the butt out of the way so you can really feel that connection with the bones on the mat underneath you, can do that. And then from here, bring your hands onto your ankles. Inhale to lengthen through the spine and exhale, release through the legs. So just notice any holding, any tightness in the inner thighs, the groin, the outer hips. Send your breath down into this area. So for the new moon practice, which is a lot more restorative and kind of yin style yoga, I tend to do a forward fold with this one. But for today, you can either stay here with the spine nice and long, or if you like, you can repeat those circles that we did at the beginning with the chest. And this can help to really release tension and tightness out of the area of the hips. So it's entirely up to you. If it feels better to stay still, and just stay still. If you're moving, make sure you take the opposite direction. And then bring yourself to center. Open up the legs wide into a seated wide-legged stretch. And this time we can walk the hands forward a little bit to deepen into this stretch. So again, you want to be sat forward on those sit bones, so rotating the pelvis forward, keeping a long spine, relaxing through the legs, so let the legs be really heavy here. You can even shake them a little bit if you feel like there's some tension there. And then walk the hands forward. Really feel the inner thighs stretch. And from here, I want you to relax through your belly. So send some deep breaths into the area of your belly, the lower belly. Let go of any tension and holding in the abdomen. As you breathe, really allow the belly to expand into that space between your thighs. Let the pelvic floor relax. Not to the point that you pee yourself, but really if you feel this energy of pulling and tightening in that area, see if you can use your breath to create a bit more softness. So we're really using the breath to release and work through any deeply held tension in the pelvic floor, in the pelvic muscles, which can contribute to painful periods later in the cycle. Taking one more breath. And then walking the hands in. Swing the legs around and come back into your tabletop position. So all fours. Knees underneath hips. Tops of the feet pressing down into the mat. And then start to walk your hands forward from here. So we're coming into melting heart pose or puppy dog pose. So it's kind of like a downward facing dog, but with the knees down. So you want to reach the hands forward. Keep the hips up high above the knees. And then start to shift your chest and your forehead backwards and down towards the mat. And the hips high. And then from here, you've got two options. So if you want to work more into the shoulders, you want to engage your core muscles, create a little bit of tension there. Focus on a nice straight spine and you'll feel this stretch right in the shoulders. You can start to work the head down towards the mat if it feels comfortable, or keep it lifted. If you've got a cushion or a block or something, you can place it under the head. If you want to stretch more into the upper back and the chest, allow the head to rest down if it can. And instead of engaging through the belly, just let the belly be a bit more soft and allow the chest, the heart space to melt towards the ground with the exhales. And just decide whatever you need today for your practice, whatever feels like it needs a little bit more attention. If your forehead is touching the ground, you can bring your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, maybe turning your gaze with your eyes closed up to that space, to the third eye. Taking a few more breaths here. And then slowly coming back up into your all fours position. And from here, take a few rounds of cat-cow, like we did at the beginning, just to loosen off through the spine. So inhale, drop the belly, lift through the chest. And exhale, round through the spine. Stretching through the shoulders. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, cow pose. Exhale, round through your spine, cat pose. Keep going like this. You can make it a little bit bigger if you like, by walking the hands a bit forward. Kind of make this your own, but if you like, you can start to come into cow pose, leaning forward and bringing yourself almost into a cobra pose with the hips lifted, or an upward facing dog. And then rounding through your spine, moving through cat pose and pressing all the way back into child's pose with the arms outstretched. So yeah, take some fluid movement here, however you feel like you need to move. Maybe you want to add in some hip circles, spiral, side bend. Really any way that your body needs to move and release energy here, just take that opportunity. moving fluidly, making sure you don't feel any pain anywhere. Last few moments. And then making your way back into your tabletop position. From here, we'll take another hip opener. So and continuing with the circles. This is kind of, I think it's like a Pilates move actually. We're just going to do circles with the knee. So bringing the weight into one of the knees and keeping both hands pressing down, lifting the opposite knee like a fire hydrant. So engaging the muscles of the glutes and then starting to draw some small circles there. So really creating that full range of motion in the hip. Just do a few on each side, changing directions. Pressing down strongly into the palms and the fingertips, so don't lose connection with the hands, with the foundation. And then changing legs, drawing those circles again. Changing direction. And coming back to all fours. Now tuck your toes under, walk the hands back. So you're right on the knees and use your fingertips to press yourself up so you're kind of standing on the tips of your toes with the knees lifted, fingertips on the ground. Take a moment here to stretch through the feet. Really come right up onto the balls of the feet, onto the toes. Using your fingertips for balance. So waking up all the small muscles here in the feet. And then we'll move into Anne's favorite pose, Malasana, the yogi squat. So keep the fingertips down. Start to walk the feet out towards the edges of the mat. So nice wide feet. You're here in this little froggy pose with the heels lifted and the fingertips on the ground. If this already feels like a lot for the hips or the knees, you've always got the option to come into child's pose if you don't like it. You can stay here, or you can start to work both heels down towards the ground into a full yogi squat. If you're here and you feel comfortable, you can bring the hands together at the heart and use the elbows to gently guide the knees out, opening up through the groin, letting the pelvis drop down towards the earth. And again, this is a good opportunity to grab a block or a cushion and place it underneath your bum for some support. And you can rock side to side, bringing a little bit of movement into the ankles and the hips. If you want to add a twist here, you can also bring one hand down to the ground on the fingertips, stretch the other arm. So bring the left fingertips down, reach the right arm behind you, opening up through the chest. Just a gentle twist in the spine. Again, this is kind of organic movement. There's not really any rule here. And change. Just stretching and moving the body in any way that feels good and leaving what doesn't. And release. Come back onto your knees and make your way all the way down onto your back. Some last couple of stretches and then we'll take a Shavasana. So bring yourself down onto your back with your knees bent, lower back pressing into the ground. And we'll do our pigeon stretch or figure of four. So keep your left foot pressing down on the mat, lift the right knee, lift the right foot off the ground, rotate externally through the hips so the right knee goes out, flex through the foot and bring the right ankle to rest on the left thigh. So it's kind of like this outstretch with the outer hips that you do after sports classes, I think. So from here, you can either rest with the hand guiding that right knee out, or you can bring both hands behind the thigh on the left leg and draw the legs in closer to the body to deepen the stretch on the right hip. Taking a few breaths, enjoying the stretch. And then releasing the legs to change. So bringing the right foot back down, left foot comes to rest on the right thigh now. Maybe bringing the hands behind the thigh, drawing the legs in. Always flexing the foot of the bent leg to protect the knee joint. And if you've got a lot of energy and you want to rock side to side, bring some movement into this posture, that's fine as well. And release the feet. Last pose, another heart opener, bridge pose. So bring both feet down onto the ground with the soles of the feet pressing down. Walk the heels in towards the bum so you can just touch the heels with the fingertips. Then press your palms down into the mat. Snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you. So your upper back is pressing down. Then bring your weight into the feet and the hands. Engage your lower belly and start to lift your hips off the mat. Maybe they come a few inches, so creating a little bit of space there between the lower back and the mat. Maybe pressing the hips higher and higher, coming all the way into a bridge pose with the mid back, maybe the upper back lifted. So pressing the pelvis up towards the ceiling. You might feel a stretch on the thighs here as well, that's all good. Taking a few deep breaths here. Lifting the chest up, lifting the chin away from the chest. One more breath. And then slowly release the upper back, mid back, lower back down to the ground. Reach the legs out long into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. Take whatever you need to be comfortable here. If you prefer to have the knees bent and the soles of the feet flat on the ground, you can take that option. Might be a bit more comfortable for your lower back. Or if you like butterfly legs that we did earlier with the soles of the feet touching and the knees out wide, you can take this as more of a yin posture to finish as well instead of Shavasana. Or you've got your typical legs out, arms by the sides, palms facing up. So take whatever version that you want to relax in today, close your eyes. Start to bring your awareness back to your breath. And we'll finish with a gentle body scan meditation. And we'll bring that idea of the full moon light and energy back in. And as we move and bring our awareness to different parts of the body, you can imagine that full moon energy and light shining onto that part of your body. Filling it with lightness and spaciousness and fresh energy for the month ahead. So starting at the top of the head, the crown of your head, bringing your awareness there, imagining that full moon light shining down onto the top of your head. And start to bring your awareness down into your forehead, your eyes, your eye sockets, your cheekbones, your jaw, that light spreading down, bringing with it relaxation and energy. Continuing down into the neck, the throat, the collarbones and the shoulders. Bright light spreading throughout your whole upper body, into the chest, the upper back, down into the arms, passing the elbows, the wrists, the palms of your hands and your fingers. Relaxing everything, letting go of tension. And then continuing down past the breastbone, into the torso, the area of the belly, the upper belly, the lower belly, the mid back, the lower back, all filling with that bright light, clearing away any heaviness, any density. Moving into your pelvis, your hips, your thighs, backs of the thighs, fronts of the thighs, down into the knees, the shins, and the calves. That bright full moon energy shining down onto the lower body. Finally into the ankles, the tops of the feet, the soles of your feet, and then each one of your toes. Now bringing your awareness to your whole body, lying here in Shavasana, relaxing in stillness. Feel your breath moving in and out. Noticing any thoughts that are present. And noticing that you are watching your thoughts, that you are separate from any thoughts that are present that might be passing through this screen of the mind. Watching them come and go. Just like the breath. And now we'll start to bring some movement back into your body, starting with the fingers and the toes, as we get ready to move out of Shavasana and end the yoga practice. Take a big stretch if that feels good, raising the arms by the ears, pointing the toes. And then bending your knees, rolling over onto one side. And pressing yourself up with the hands into a seated position. Back to where we started, with the left hand on the chest, the right hand on the belly. Let's take a moment to thank your body for allowing you to do this practice today, and to maybe think about where you want to spend your energy in this cycle that's coming up now. Where you might want to use this energy of the full moon to create something in your life. Take one last breath in. And exhale, release. Release the breath, release the hands, bring them onto your knees. And when you're ready, open the eyes. And that is the end of our yoga practice. Thank you both so much. Just unmute me now. I'm sorry if you could hear the cat